we still had a hell of a year. But if you go out similar to the way the Ravens manhandled you on Christmas, then it's worse than the way the Ravens came back in the second half and beat you last year. Now your entire offseason, you're going to be stewing going, that really sucked, and they didn't really battle and perform the way I expected them to, so I'm going to feel a lot more negative about that.
Yeah.
You're locked in with the Killer Bees on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Joel Blank and Jeremy Branham.
All right. If the Texans lose tomorrow, should this season still be considered a success? 713-780-ESPN, HRP listener line. Let's head out to the HRP listener line. Terry, you're in the Hive. What's going on, Terry?
Man, as always, thanks for taking my call. So, want to preface this by saying we all know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl and a World Series and NBA championship and Stanley Cup and stuff. But if they lose a close one tomorrow, I think it's going to be the second best season we've ever had. And I'm not talking wins and losses, but I tell this to my friends all the time. Well, let's go back. 2019 season, we were 2 quarters and 10 minutes away, up 24-0. From hosting the AFC Championship game against Tennessee because Tennessee had beaten Baltimore, who was number 1. That, to this up to date, that is the best season we've ever had.
Is it the best or is it the closest they got?
Like,
I think it's two different things.
Season
like I think it's the closest they got. I don't know if it's the best season though.
What is the 14-2 season the best?
I mean,
yeah, but
14-2.
Throw out the amount of wins. I mean, guys, we would have beat Tennessee in NRG and we'd have gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree with that. But was that the best year or was it the closest they got to going to the Super Bowl?
Well, to me, I think it's the best year because look at what happened. I mean, look at what happened after that, man. 3 years of purgatory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the 3 years after the season that is the best year is significant to the argument of what's the best year. Like, to me, it's I don't like the year that you were 12-4. Didn't they? That's the year that they lost Schaub. I get these years.
No, the year they lost Schaub, they were 10-6.
So 2012 is the year they went to New England and lost.
Yes.
In the AFC. That's probably their best year. I think that's their best
year. Yeah. I'm just saying, man, we were 24-0 in the driver's seat, and then all hell broke loose.
No, you're right. You're right about that, Terry. And I appreciate the call. Thank you for listening. And look, we're arguing semantics. Mm-hmm. It's all opinion, and this is all relative. Like, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. This is not a fact at all. But if for my money, I would have to go the 2012 Texans as the best year they've ever had. That was their best win-loss record they ever had. It was tied for the furthest they've ever went in the playoffs. And, yeah, you didn't have a chance against New England, but you really didn't have a chance in any of these divisional games.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you know, you're looking at scenarios, too, where even in the first half of the divisional game, you were in it. Even last year, you were in it. And then the second half is how you remember the season because – as it goes, is it a bitter taste in your mouth when you walk away from the end of the season? Maybe you were outmatched. Like in that year, it's easy to say New England was a far better team than you were, and so you can understand it. You can tip the cap to it, and you know that hey, we still had a hell of a year. But if you go out similar to the way the Ravens manhandled you on Christmas, then it's worse than the way the Ravens came back in the second half and beat you last year. Now your entire offseason, you're going to be stewing, going that really sucked. And they didn't really battle and perform the way I expected them to, so I'm going to feel a lot more negative about that.
Yeah. I don't really think it's debatable. I think that's the best year the Texans have ever had.
Yeah, I meant instead of 14-2, 12-4, and that's exactly the season I was thinking of. Yeah,
and I mean they started that year 11-1. They were 12-2.
That was the letter jacket.
That was the letter jacket year. Yeah, they were 11-1, and then we know what happened.
I think it's easily their best year.
See, I would. I mean, again, there's no actual wrong answer here, and I'm not saying 2012 is far off, but I would go 11 because, again, you're tied with the furthest you've ever gotten to the playoffs. And the Texans, even with their third-string quarterback in T.J. Yates, if Jacoby Jones doesn't fumble the ball away, they were right there with Baltimore the entire way. Yates throws 3 picks. Jacoby Jones has the fumble on the punt returns that sets the Ravens up for like a 3-yard touchdown. And despite all that, they were still in the game in the second half. So I thought that was the best team they've ever had. And certainly with Schaub, I think they win that Ravens game. How far they go beyond that, I'm not sure. But had they obviously got to the AFC title game, that would be the best season in team history.
I mean, they were down 17-3 after the end of the first quarter, and they had T.J. Yates as their quarterback. Like, it's kind of how you finish, right? Like, it's kind of the product that you have at the end of the year. Like, if you're calling it the best season of all time, you have to kind of go with what you had at the end.
But if we're going to talk about how they finished, the Texans were in 2012 were 11-1, stumbled down the stretch going 1-3, lost their chance to get a bye, and then got smashed by the Patriots in round 2. I mean, they finished horribly.
The 11 team, like. I don't know. It's subjective. I would go 12. Brian goes 11, and the Terry would go this year. If they get by the Chiefs, it's their best year ever.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. I don't care about the record at that point. Yeah, if you go as far as you've ever gone as a franchise, that is now your best year.